like it, you can call the corporate offices of Walgreens and...
In today's video, watch as these Karens get their worst nightmares met with instant karma that delivers swift and satisfying justice. Prepare for jaw-dropping moments as these Karens' demands are met with swift and incredibly juicy consequences. Let's start with first case. We'll take a closer look at a shocking incident that occurred on a Jet 2 flight. The story has gained widespread attention after being filmed and posted online, resulting in significant consequences for the individuals involved. And on 24th March 2022, an incident occurred on flight LS 895, which was scheduled to fly from Manchester, UK to Antalya, Turkey. For both passengers and crew, the flight was supposed to be another leg in a series of flights operated by Jet 2. But what started out as a normal journey quickly turned chaotic. The calm of the flight was shattered by an incident involving Catherine Bush, a passenger whose behavior caused major disruption. The plane, which was en route to Antalya, had to be diverted to Vienna due to the escalating situation. Now, let's find out what happened and how it led to such a dramatic event. The trouble began when Catherine Bush was filmed confronting Jet 2 staff in a manner described as both aggressive and abusive. The footage, which has since gone viral, shows MS Bush shouting at flight attendants and causing a disturbance that left other passengers feeling uncomfortable and anxious.
Stand back. I am back. Show your head out, you idiot. You're not doing yourself any favours. You're not doing yourself any favours either. So what? Don't touch me.
In the video, MS Bush's voice is filled with anger as she argues with a member of the crew. Her words are harsh and her attitude is confrontational. She can be heard saying, "I'm back. Get your head together, girl," in response to a staff member telling her back off. The situation escalated when MS Bush was seen physically interacting with another passenger.
Hey, what have I done on this flight? What have I done wrong on this flight? What have I done wrong on this flight? What have I done wrong on this flight? What have I done wrong? Do you have one answer?
According to witnesses, the altercation involved her slapping one person in the face, which made the situation worse. The scene was described as chaotic, with passengers trying to calm the situation while crew tried to control the escalating confrontation. As the argument escalated and a fight broke out, the flight was diverted to Vienna where the disruptive passenger was removed. The decision was supported by all passengers, with the entire flight clapping their hands as Karen was removed from the plane.
She's there with him, they've not cuffed her though.
The fine and ban sent a strong message that disruptive behavior will not be tolerated, regardless of the circumstances. Jet 2's swift action reflects their commitment to maintaining the standards of behavior expected of their passengers. In the UK, the rules governing disruptive behavior on board aircraft are primarily set out in Chapter 4 of the Civil Aviation Act 1982. In particular, Section 92 of this act deals with offenses and penalties for disruptive behavior on board an aircraft. Any disruptive, threatening, or violent behavior on board an aircraft is an offense and can be severely punished. This includes endangering the safety of the flight and disturbing the peace of other passengers. Karen's disruptive behavior on board the aircraft has resulted in her being punished accordingly, with her being banned from flying on Jet 2 for life and facing a fine of PS 5,000. In this second case study, we'll dive into a strange and remarkable incident that occurred at a Walgreens store. What started as a simple dispute over a $2 refund turned into a situation involving law enforcement, showing how small issues can sometimes lead to misunderstandings and significant escalations. When on August 23, 2021, a police officer responded to a Walgreens, Florida, incident that needed to be resolved. Police involvement in a retail dispute is rare, especially when it involves a small amount of money. But in this case, the customer feeling offended and possibly frustrated by the store's policy or the attitude of the employee decided to take the matter to law enforcement. At the heart of the confrontation, the customer, often referred to in the media as Karen, was reportedly upset about not receiving a $2 refund. She began recording the interaction, which quickly became heated. The employee, trying to gain control of the situation, found herself increasingly on edge The arrival of the police marked a pivotal moment. The officers responding to the call were faced with a situation that was not a criminal matter. Instead, they were faced with a dispute that should have been resolved through customer service channels, not through the involvement of law enforcement.
Going back to what I just said. So, it's a public place. They can record.
So another call with her.
During the interaction, the police calmly explained that the situation was a civil matter, not a criminal one. Essentially, this meant that the law was not competent to resolve issues related to customer service disputes. The officer's role is to ensure that no laws are being broken and to provide assistance if needed.
Now, if you don't like it, you can call the corporate offices of WalGreens and get her name or whatnot and take it up with her. But as far as making her give you a receipt or whatnot, or telling her to stop, have her stop. I mean, I can ask her to stop. And do you mind?
I have to show this to my manager. It's not for social media. I'm not going to put it anywhere. But given the interaction that me and her just had, for my safety and hers, I am recording. Now, can I explain the situation to you?
The officer also begins to document the incident, a standard practice for documenting interactions and protecting all parties involved. This document serves multiple purposes. It provides a record of what happened and ensures transparency and accountability for both the officer and the individuals involved. As the situation unfolds, the officer suggests that if the customer is dissatisfied, their best course of action is to contact Walgreens corporate office. In such cases, higher management can address the issue, review store policies, and potentially remedy the situation in a manner consistent with corporate procedures.
Yes, she's been yelling at me. I reported the entire situation.
Can I just talk to her?
The only time I yelled at her was when I was standing, or I don't even know what she said, but I responded to her from over there. She yelled at me and she said, "Let me finish." And so I stopped what I was doing and I walked over here and I stood here. Every purchase that you make, you get a receipt. The only way you won't get a receipt is if you literally still want digital receipts. Whenever you sign up for Walgreens or do the whole, process or whatever, I have no control over that.
Sure.
When she made her purchase, she put in an old phone number. Whatever phone number you put in, that's going to talk to your receipt, your transaction. She put in an old phone number. I asked her, about the information. She was saying that it was an old phone number when she was 18 and she doesn't remember. So I'm just like, okay.
That's what I was going to ask you. If there's a way that
I don't know how to do that. I think he just did from the computer, but he has it on paper. You'll have to physically print it on a piece of paper.
Sure.
While corporate intervention typically provides a structured approach to resolving customer complaints, companies have dedicated channels for resolving disputes, and their goal is to ensure customer satisfaction while adhering to their policies.
I've been working here for 2 months. I don't know. So I kindly explained to her, you'll just have to know when my manager gets here. We open at 7. So in the entire time, I've kept my calm. And it went from that to, because they're African American. I work with a very diverse group of people. I have diverse children, family members, you know what I'm saying? So, and I kept my calm. I could have very much gotten out of character, very much so, but I did not, because it's her being on Fox 4 News and all that other stuff. I just work here. I'm doing the best that I can. I gave her the best advice possible.
This is where customers should direct their concerns rather than involving the police. The lesson here is important. While it is understandable to feel frustrated when a customer service issue arises, escalating minor disputes to the law enforcement level can have a broader impact. These can strain police resources, disrupt public services, and create unnecessary conflict. According to Florida Statutes Chapter 877.03, disorderly conduct includes acts that cause a disturbance, or inconvenience to others in a public space. Instead of resolving the situation calmly and quickly, Karen engaged in a series of actions that caused a disturbance in the store, forcing the police to arrive to resolve the incident. Minor harassment may be punished as a second or first-degree misdemeanor, depending on the severity of the offense. Penalties may include a jail term of up to 60 days to 1 year and/or a fine of $500 to $1,000. All right, this case was wild, but still not the worst one. Just wait until you see this next fine. On January 1st, 2022, our story begins on a crowded Florida subway, the hub of the city's public transportation network. The station is bustling with morning rush hour commuters rushing to work, backpack-toting students, and the occasional tourist. Amidst this chaos, one figure stands out, a middle-aged woman with a distinctive demeanor. As the subway rushes forward, Karen's discomfort grows. She shifts uncomfortably in her seat, her eyes darting around. Karen notices a group of teenagers chatting animatedly in the corner of the train. Their laughter and animated conversation seem to amplify her discomfort. The subway car stops, and the teenagers, seemingly unaware of Karen's growing discomfort, resume their conversation.
Came into my place when I sat down. You are a shit. You are a shit. Get the place from today.
Karen, now clearly agitated, stands up and walks toward them. At this point, the argument had reached its peak. Karen kept swearing at the group of young men. Realizing that this had caused a commotion on the train, a member of the group of young men approached Karen to tell her to stop, and Karen smashed the board in the young man's face into his hand. At this point, Karen's retribution had come. She received a punch in the face that made her sit down and feel dizzy.
You're garbage! You're garbage!
Even when the black youth turned back to Karen to get her things back, Karen immediately broke it and pulled the black youth's shirt. In the end, Karen received a splash of water in the face from the black youth and sat on the train feeling hurt, embarrassed, and humiliated. And the passengers all found Karen's behavior unacceptable, so no one stood up for her.
Hey, hey, stop, stop! Yo, man, Jesus Christ! Stop! Stop!
You got in my face!
The camera captured the remaining atmosphere of the train car, the restlessness of the remaining passengers, and the general feeling of relief when the confrontation was over. The incident left a deep impression on everyone involved. According to Florida Penal Code Section 784.021, the act of aggravated assault. This law is defined as aggravated assault occurs when a person intentionally threatens or causes another person to feel fear of immediate physical harm and has a serious element such as using or possessing a dangerous weapon during the attack. Under aggressive behavior, specifically using a hard object to physically impact the two young men, put her in violation of this law. Aggravated assault is a third-degree felony. This means that the punishment can include up to 5 years in prison and a fine of up to $5,000. All right, fellas, what do you think? Share your thoughts in the comments and don't forget to subscribe for more interesting and educational contents in the future. Thanks for your support.